Welcome to another episode with your host, Robert E. Hansen, psychic medium, author, and public speaker.
Hi, welcome back. Today we're going to discuss a very sensitive topic. It is used in a lot of recovery groups and a lot of 12-step programs. It's a major spiritual axiom. What I'm pointing to is the expression, "to thine own self be true." This expression has been used from the time of Socrates and Aristotle. It has gone back and preceded the Buddha. It goes way back. It may have been expressed in various languages in various ways, but it is still an extremely powerful, a very popular expression that is used in modern times, as I just shared a little bit ago, in a lot of recovery programs, a lot of programs where there is addictions, alcoholisms, obsessive eating, drinking, gambling, and so on and so on and so on. This expression points directly at the person, When one is caught up within the self, one of the reflexes that the self has, and it's just part of the human the structure of the ego simply meaning that's how you see yourself. People have told you how you are, people have encouraged you to be a certain way, people have discouraged you from being a certain way. People that you hang out with, your peers, your friends, have a certain impression of you, your religious upbringing, your parental upbringing, tragedies in your life, people that you valued who either may have wounded you or may have really embraced you, people that have shunned you, people that have held you. There are so many variables that form in the evolution of the human experience that it can really create and alter a personality. In most cases, that personality finds a stability point and settles in. There are certain people who are genetically predisposed. They have a heightened sense of well-being. Perhaps they have great intellectual skills, or they've been given great musical skills, or they've given great athletic skills. They perform at a very high level. They're compensated with a lot of money. They are idolized. They are on the glossy magazines. You see them on TV. And a lot of people, quite frankly, compare themselves to them. You know, it's not uncommon. If you're a young woman and you see a beautiful makeup model on TV and they tell you to buy perfume ABC or makeup ABD, whatever it might be, a lot of young ladies will run out and buy it because they feel if they use that, they are A, socially in the right groove, and B, they will look something like that model on TV. That's kind of the perception. That's the sales pitch. That's what makes you open up your wallet and go buy it, right? It may not be true at all, but you want to hope it will help you in some way. And this is, of course, true with men too. You know, lifting weights or doing this or doing that or having a certain hairstyle or have a razor cut or a fade. It's very popular. It's very common. And all of this cultivates your sense of identity. And if people are applauding you, if people agree with you, if people kind of embrace you, if you become kind of a socially accepted person, one of the gang, then your confidence rises. But if you're shunned or if you're pushed away or you're not cool or, you know, what kind of haircut is that? Or there's this kind of childish driving you away mentality, then you could feel deflated and under-evaluated, and you look at the mirror and say, what the hell's the matter with me? Why can't I be accepted? Why can't I have this? And all of this dynamics is done from the day basically you've come out of the womb into the day you were born, right on through your lives. And all of this is a description about what you think you are, a perception of what you think you are. It's got nothing to do with the truth of who you really are, you see? And for many, many people, and I mean many, many people I meet, they kind of live and die with this mentality that they are what other people tell them they are, right? The husband says you're a nice wife, you're a good lady, and she feels good about it. The husband says you're not a good wife, you're overweight, you never shut out these kids, you're lazy. depending on the personality, it can make them withdraw and almost break their soul, break their spirit. And this is conversely true as well. You're a lazy man, you're a bum, I thought you'd have more intelligence, I thought you told me we'd be a millionaire, and you're still working at the car wash, and you never improved, and so on and so on. And the guy feels like he's just a failure, a complete blow up. Those behaviors, those perceptions, whether they really be positive. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and we were discussing people who drink a little bit. And they said people drink when they're happy. They do. They win $500 in the lottery, or they get a little bump at work, or their baseball team wins a big game, and they knock down a few beers. If you're prone to drinking, you'll celebrate. So people drink when they're really happy. And of course, if your team loses and you didn't win the lottery and all that, people drink because they're sad, right? People are constantly escaping. And this is a reference I heard at a meeting one time in a recovery program I was sitting in and paying attention to. And in this recovery group, they were talking about this personality type. And they said there are people that come in to recover, and as long as things are going well, they continue to come. But as soon as there's a challenge or a bump, they don't want to come, or the program isn't working. As you guys all, I'm sure, realize, life is not straight up and down, nor is life completely side to side. It's always a variation, kind of like waves in the ocean. There's always going to be some movement, some up and down, and so on. So the expression "to thy own self be true" says, are you really willing to look at this cause and this core of your personality that seeks to amplify the self through other variables? I am wonderful. I am terrific. Everybody says that I am. Look how great I am. Let me put my pictures on the wall. Don't you see me on TV? Don't you realize how special I am? This exaggerated inflation of self, right? And that self can easily be taken away from you. When the TV show is canceled, you're no longer a superior athlete. You've kind of fallen back into the wallpaper of life. No one even notices you in the restaurants. No one even wants your autograph anymore. And you withdraw back into the world saying, well, I guess one time I was pretty good, and now I'm just nothing but a has-been. I'm just an old guy, or old woman, right? And on the other side, of course, people have no sense of self-esteem. There's no pictures on the wall. There's nothing. And they say, life is hard. Life is terrible. What a terrible, miserable experience I've had. These other people have gotten it all. I haven't gotten anything. I never got married. Or if I got married, my husband left after a short time. And my wife went out with the guy that worked at the health club and never came back to me. All of these kind of stories happen, right? And they go into a place for recovery, and one of the first things, and I'm not just talking addiction recovery, but there are people that, and the term they used at this meeting was, people aren't addicted to drugs. And I'm like, what? And they said, people aren't really addicted to drinking. Once again, I said, what? They said they're addicted to escaping. And my head moved like this, and I said, that's it. People get addicted to escaping from what they are, who they are, what they have been told they are, what they're told they're supposed to be becoming. You're supposed to grow up into this. You should have grown up into that. Excuse me. We gave you every opportunity on earth. You never took advantage of it. You took advantage of it and you destroyed it. I mean, the list is just on and on and on and on. So the Buddha, the great saint of India, Krishnamurti, the Roshis in Japan, the Christian monks, the illuminations of various saints, the Christ figure himself, etc., 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 have all pointed to the person. And they said, forget about all that stuff. What and who are you really? Can you really, deeply, intimately become truthful to yourself? Can you really do that? Do you have the courage, the sense of commitment to really open yourself up and say, this is what and who I am? not just in the temporary short status of what you feel like in your current age of life or your current situation in life. Many people compare the situation in their life, their situation, as their life. Oh, no, no. Your situation is not your life. You may think it is. You may think it is, but it is simply a flow of ocean waves moving through this incredible experience called living. So when one starts to really enter into a sense of self-recovery, not necessarily addictive recovery, but self-recovery, meaning the addiction, quote unquote, of the self, that you are addicted to the idea that you're no good, or you're addicted to the idea you're supposed to be something else, or you don't want to be you and you want to become that. I don't want to be Robert, I want to be this person. I don't want to be Mary, I want to be this person. Always the shedding of the self to get to the other. Thus the expression, people always think the grass grows greener on the neighbor's side, right? And you never become your true self. So the essence of meditation, the essence of self-examination, the essence of introspection, to look inwardly, is the key to knowing thyself. And as you really begin to look without any fear, without any prejudice, without any rationalizing, without any denial, without any excuses, without any blame. I know it sounds like a big challenge, but you would be shocked how easy it is when you simply just say, this is me. This is how I am constructed. This is how I live my life. I'll give you a very quick story. This actually occurred during a session I had this morning. And there were a conversation about two women. One woman, they were sisters, our sisters. One woman is a extremely dedicated business financial planner. Everything from the time she gets up till the time she goes to bed is about investment strategies and that whole world of finance. And apparently she's done very well with it. She's made, I guess, a lot of money for herself and other people. And she feels very self-satisfied. But she can't go a day without doing it. Even though she may be a millionaire, probably is. I mean, I have no idea, but I would suggest she probably is pretty successful. She can't do it. Her nature, her nurture to kind of continue to make deals, continue to hustle is who she is. And she's very honest about it. But here's where the problem came in. Her sister is nothing like that. Her sister likes to work in arts and crafts. Her sister sells things at fairs. She runs around and makes needlepoint. She does woodworking. She does this and she does that. She volunteers. She does all kinds of stuff. The one sister with all the money says she's wasting her life. The other sister says, no, my sister with all the money has no life. All she is a bank book. I enjoy myself. I'm out in the fresh air. I work with animals. I work with kids. I do arts and crafts. She's kind of like a hippie type person, I guess, in some way. And they clash because one sister's saying, you're a fool for wasting your life. You have no money or you have very little. Look at me. I'm so successful. And the other person says, you may be successful, but you apparently are miserable and you judge everyone who's not like you as being less than you or inferior. So the two women were honest about who they were, which was impressive, but they didn't allow each other to be who they were. They needed permission from each other, like an applause to say, I approve with what you do, and if I don't approve with what you do, you're going to feel less, and I'll make sure you feel less because I'm telling you you're less because you do arts and crafts and I have all this money, and vice versa. So for them, the lesson of being true to thyself was glaringly obvious. So if you are really serious about getting free, if you're really serious about embracing this incredible process which we call living, the fluidness, the awe of life itself, to be free to look without coming through the eyeglasses of self-doubt and self-disappointment and searching for people to approve in you and all of that, Once that disappears, once you see that you don't need it, I'm not talking as an idea in your head. I'm talking about really being willing to sit and go through this break open process of the truth coming in. The expression, only the truth will set you free. Only being truthful to thyself will set you free. So for those of you that are sharing this little chat with me, please give yourself the opportunity to go into a process in which you too can find the truth about who and what you really are. And what you're going to discover is an amazing, incredible human being filled with the spirit and the creation of life itself, that you are not just limited to this temporary, impermanent idea of what you think you are or others think you should become. You are the process of creation itself. You are at one with all things. The only problem is right now, you really don't realize it just yet, but you will. Because as you begin to shed all of these ideas and craziness, you will become settled down in your own being, and you will come to a place of peace to say, this is how I am. This is what I enjoy. This is what I really feel deeply within me, and I don't need Robert's opinion. I don't need the neighbor's opinion. I don't need anyone's opinion about me. I know in my soul who I really am. Thank you for tuning in.